On that note, we're going to go straight to our studios in Kisumu City, where we find Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga standing by. Governor, good to see you as always. Thanks so much for your time.
Governor, let me begin by asking you, in those figures... Sorry, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Jeff, and happy to be here.
All right. In those figures, we looked at Homa Bay comes second to Kisumu in the counties as of 2022 in terms of the counties that have the highest number of people living with HIV/AIDS, 10 counties accounting for 58%. What are you doing at the county level?
Thank you, Olivia. There's been a lot of interventions, and we are moving from about 26.5% in 2007 to about 10.7% now. I think that has been, we're not where we want to be, but there's been great progress in terms of new infections and in terms of prevalence as well. So what we have done is to improve our health infrastructure, ensure that we have comprehensive care clinics in all our facilities or most of our facilities, and also to ensure that we are integrating HIV services into our healthcare delivery throughout. Because what you recognize is we are celebrating HIV at 40, which means that those who got infected when they were maybe 20 are now 60 years old, or those who got infected at 30 at the beginning are now 70 years old, and therefore seeking care for other ailments as well, you know, because they are managing HIV, but they're also dealing with diabetes. They're dealing with every other ailment that comes with age as well. So we are integrating HIV care into all our services. We're also dealing actively with the triple threat of new infections, but also of teenage pregnancies. You saw from the report how much new infections we're having among adolescents. And when we were, you know, looking at mothers not going to clinics, and these are mostly teenage mothers, and Homa Bay, as well as, you know, other counties in our region face a disproportionate amount of teenage pregnancies. If you walk into any facility, you're looking at about 23% of our girls getting into teenage pregnancies. We're also looking strongly at elimination of mother-to-child transmission, which is a program that we are pushing hard. We are now at 7.9%, but we hope to get it lower. Building capacity continuously of our healthcare staff in terms of HIV care. But I think a big challenge has been highlighted around funding. HIV has been very, very heavily partner supported. And as we keep moving closer.
Sure. Governor, if I could just intervene, sorry to cut you off, but the 23% you just mentioned, that's a high number.
Extremely. It's very, very high, and it is extremely concerning. Every facility, Jeff, that I walk into in Homa Bay, there is a 100% chance that I will meet a mother who's under 18. And this is something that we are facing head on, because we are talking to our young girls, we are mentoring them, we are talking to the parents, we are trying to look at the root causes of these teenage pregnancies and how to stem them. Because a lot of times these are futures, you know, that are being curtailed, or people not being able, young women and young girls not being able to achieve the fullness of their futures. And these are, you know, dreams cut short. And Jeff, I agree, it is very high, but we have recognized it, and we are dealing with it. We looked at our numbers last year and our numbers this year, and there's been a slight reduction across the region. We are having programs as women leaders. We are having, like next week on Friday, we'll be having Sigan Nyenam, which is women leaders from the Lake region coming together to actively advocate against the triple threat with support of the UN agencies and NSDCC. So we have recognized it, and we are dealing with it, and we hope to make progress.
Governor, you were addressing the question of funding, and you had mentioned that there is a push towards having these programs financed domestically. What then do you see as the way forward?
Thank you, Olivia. When we appeared before the Commission on Revenue Allocation as the Lake Region Economic Bloc, we made a case that our counties are dealing with a unique situation, because if you look at the 10 counties that are carrying the highest burden of HIV, a very high number of them are in the Lake Region Economic Bloc. And so we made a case and said, as we are doing sharing of revenue, as we put money for agriculture and for population and for these other elements, can we also recognize counties with a high disease burden of HIV? Because if we are going to fund these HIV care, treatment, and so on as counties, then we will have to have additional money coming from our share of revenue. And that only comes with a recognition in the formula for revenue allocation that there are counties dealing with a high disease burden. Because as we look at it currently, you know, partners are facing, and partners mostly in HIV space are mostly PEPFAR and American funded. And there has been a continuous reduction and a continuous need for counties to step up the amount of money that we are putting into HIV care. You know, for example, at the moment, partners have been covering a lot of staffing for us, but sorry about the earpiece.
No problem. It's all
but
TV,
you find that, yeah, these partners have withdrawn, you know, some of the stuff that they are putting, and it's not because of the partners liking. It's because there is consistent reduction in funding, and we are discussing with the partners a transition mechanism. But I can tell you, Jeff and Olivia, it is going to be very hard to transition within the resources that we currently have. We might actually slide back into the days that we had HIV as a big problem with the current scenario.
And that will be very, very sad, Governor. But stand by. We're going to come to you in a little short while. Just want to let you know we have in the studio here live the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Deborah Mulongo. She's here, as well as
Shalon Watiri, and she is a HIV youth advocate. Good to have the two of you in studio.
That's right, and we'll be joined by the Governor. Governor, stand by. We'll be talking more about this. It's World AIDS Day today, December 1st, 40 years since the first case was detected right here in Kenya. Let's take a break. Keep tweeting at Kwenenga Jeff.
At Obarus, at Citizen TV Kenya.
The hashtag is Sunday Live. Sunday Live takes a break. We'll be back in the meantime. Coming up.